Heck,
Hey, welcome
Ron
back.
Howard will be played by Akiri.
Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the Wildlands. We are here with our seven awesome players to find out what happens next in our grand campaign story. Last time was a very exciting session as there was the aftermath of the murder of one of the party members in a dark alleyway. And dealing with that and some of the ripple effects that had, and then an introduction of three new party members. The scaly folks, Ziklu, Frasher, and Lindsay doesn't have her character name on, so it takes me a second. Typha the Third. Typha the Third. Hey, Taladar. Welcome. And they were kind of on the trail of a connected couple of mysteries. And needed to track down some members of the party. And they have now kind of joined forces as Bella needed to go and find her mother. Hoping to catch the play that has been set out to go on in Liberty Square in the town of Westhead, in the city of Westhead, I should say. Under the Traitorous Moon, however, seems to have stirred up some loyal feelings for the Duke amongst some people, as after a very powerful and fraught series of conversations, but also a picnic with her mother, Ariella Beaumont, Bella's mom's group of traveling players, the Lady Thornsea's players, were beset by a group of armed and armored folk, men, who all wore masks or otherwise had their faces covered. Some of them had pillowcases with eyes cut out and other such things. All these people were well armed and armored and wear the uniforms of the Order of the Sacred Bull, the town guard. But they all had their badges removed. So there was a familiar outfit they were wearing, but their faces were covered instead of wearing the helmets, etc. of the guard, and their badges were removed. And they started violently trying to run the Lady Thornsea's players out of town, kicking over their wagons and carts, smashing their tents, throwing their props, and trying to generally wreck the setup for the play that was scheduled to go on this very night. The party sprang into action, all seven of you, and defended the traveling actors from this attack, slaying these armed thugs willy-nilly as they came rushing into Liberty Square. Some magic was thrown around. Some weapons were torn from their bindings where they had been kind of sealed by the guard by kind of customs upon entering West Head, and a violent altercation ensued. The party was fairly dominant. There were a couple of hairy moments, but the party was fairly dominant and slew most of them except for two who managed to run off. You can see them on the northern side of the map there. And at the end of that fight, some pretty interesting stuff happened. Most importantly of all, there were several things that happened. One of them is that the Lady Thornsea's players kind of caught their breath, started to regroup, but only minutes after the battle was won, some actual guards started showing up. Now these have their faces uncovered. They are wearing the badge of the Order of the Sacred Bull. Hey, Grimslag, thanks for coming by. Which is the bullhorn insignia pinned to the front of their chainmail shirts. And they immediately take control of the situation and start investigating. So there's a bunch of them that come rushing in as the reports of as word is spreading about what has just happened. And at first it's some of these regular guys, but very soon some of the elite guards begin to show up. And the elite guards not only have the pin of the Order of the Sacred Bull, but another kind of coat of arms in like patch sewn on, which is the colors of the Oldport family. And these elite guards are bull-headed men and women carrying enormous two-handed axes and looking quite imposing indeed. Sorry, was there a question?
No, I was just asking if those were minotaurs.
Yes.
Okay.
And do we know, like, so it's the Order of the Sacred Bull, so, like, it kind of makes sense, but, like, are there a lot of them in the Order, or, like how rare are these guys?
You would actually have a sense of this because your group has been interacting with the guards prior to the start of you guys joining the campaign. Roll a perception roll for me.
Hey, that's not bad.
17?
17, yeah.
You have seen them around the Order of the Sacred Bull kind of guard houses. They are elite guards. They are not common. You have certainly never seen 5 of them in one place. But
would it be like the SWAT team kind of equivalent, or like the FBI equivalent?
Certainly not the FBI.
Okay. So they
More
are
like
they're
the SWAT
local,
team.
but they're higher rank. Yeah.
More
okay.
like the SWAT team. They're more like officers of the Order of the Sacred Bull.
So would they be on the same tier as Nuala, or are they higher than Nuala?
About the same tier.
Okay.
Good question. All right. So these are very swiftly on the scene. And they begin going around kind of corralling all of you as well as Lady Thornsee's players and kind of locking down the whole area. They start kind of taking the masks off of the people who are lying dead in the square. And you hear exclamations as these people are recognized as guards. And it quickly becomes apparent that these are off-duty members of the Order who had, for whatever reason, removed their badges, put on their equipment, but without their badges, and put on masks, and come to do this. And you are all questioned. As they immediately lay hands upon you and kind of they question you at the scene very briefly just to kind of see what's going on, and then they will remove you to a guardhouse and process you. Does anyone want to say anything at this time?
I'd like to know that at some point between going to the guardhouse, the end of the fight, and going to the guardhouse, Akiri would have healed Mavra up, if possible.
Would you have done that right at the end of the fight?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, then go ahead. Roll cure spell. You would have had time to do like an action or something before they started showing up. But if you start trying to throw spells around while you're being questioned, they're not going to let you.
That's fair. Take 18.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
I mean, are you asking us if we want to say anything through the process of being questioned and taken to be detained?
So I'm just anything that was like M just brought up or Akiri just did. If there was something you were like, oh no, I'm not going to let this happen or whatever. I just wanted to give you a chance to talk. But otherwise, the basically what happens is the leader of this elite group, whose name I will have in a moment. Where is it? He introduces himself as Officer Retham and looms over you with jewelry and some other and an impressive shield like a wall blocking out the sun. And he will ask each of you in turn a series of questions. What happened here? Who are you? What is your relationship with these? And he will gesture at both the corpses and everybody else in the party. I'm going to ask each of you, unless you want to attempt something different, which you can declare, to roll a charisma check.
I have a charisma of 6.
This has really more to do with how you act and how you respond than your actual answers, because they are
Oh no.
freaking out essentially over the fact that there are 10 dead guards in the middle of the square.
We react poorly.
Oh dear.
Well, Frasher, you got the best of the bad lot.
Yeah, he's fine with this.
He still thinks that he's part of like an interactive theater production.
Yeah.
So he's just going
I
along.
mean, either it was part of the play, or bad people get killed. Whatever.
Oh my god.
This is swamp justice here.
You, since you got the highest, you get to speak for the party.
That is
Oh,
real
no.
bad news.
Go for it.
Play was happening. Not guards attacked. We liked the play, so fought back.
Highest form of flattery right there.
Are you a lizard folk?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not.
He's not a
quite-
particularly bulky lizard folk. He's like, he looks kind of on the thin side, but he's really tall.
You're not quite as like squished by accidentally being trod on by these guys. Grimstag said points for making it rhyme. He'll kind of snort at that. Bella, your mother is quite outspoken while these on-site interviews are going on. She is loud and kind of attention-grabbing. And a lot of the order's attention, it becomes focused on her. And she kind of occasionally shoots you these sympathetic looks. Like, and when they kind of start manacling you guys, they put manacles on you. And while they're doing that, you pass close to her and she kind of leans over and says, "I'm so sorry you've gotten mixed up in all this. Quite exciting, these political plays."
It's fine. I guess we'll just miss opening night.
Well, the show must go on, but it might have to go on a different night. And then you guys are led away. You are taken by this group of guards. I should mention, yes, at some point, Ariella Beaumont says that That's my Bella. Lady Bella Enderall. You may have heard of my husband.
Oh no.
And Bella, you are asked. Bella, you are asked. Are these part of your retinue?
Yes, they are. They're all my guards. They're supposed to keep me safe, and as far as I'm concerned, they did exactly what they're supposed to do.
Then we shall take you to the old governor's prison for questioning. And that is, in fact, what they do. Now, all of you did quite poorly, and they are all extremely suspicious of you after your questioning. Again, it has less to do with what you actually say than how you say it. All of them are extremely tense.
Specifically, that we said it as a lizard man and not as a normal person.
There's an element of that, for sure. There's an element of that, for sure. But more than almost any other civilized locale you've ever been in, people around here are a little less fazed by monstrous humanoids than most. I mean, after all, minotaurs are the elite guards here, so it's there's some racism, but it's really far less pronounced than almost anywhere you've been. If Bref didn't have such a terrible insight, I would have noted that, he saw like some tieflings walking down the street, and they weren't being like followed as has previously happened in the campaign. Okay. And so, you are led to the old governor's prison, which is underground beneath well, I'll show you on the map, actually. It's here, basically. Dug into the hillside there. And in kind of underneath part of the estate owned by the Old Port family. And it's a pretty weird prison. In some ways. Some of it's fairly standard, but there is this very noticeable construction on the wall. Can you guys see? Okay, I don't know if I did something weird with the...
It all seems to be coming through.
I lost everyone's cameras for some reason, but I can still see.
We lost you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We all lost you.
I'm in like a different session now, I guess.
You can refresh that in the... yeah.
Now I see no cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
There we
Okay,
go.
do you see me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna have to delete all these old typhas.
No, all my ancestors.
You see, hatchlings, this is good den. Dry, underground.
Akiri is not happy with any of this. Akiri does not agree with you at all.
It's cold. I don't like it in here.
Oh no, she
Yeah,
shifted
I'm,
through a wall.
not
At
a
least
big
it's better
fan
for
of
eyes.
all
Not
this
so bright.
stone.
Yeah, actually, you guys are probably really happy to be out of the sun.
It's nice, this darks, yes.
I like how Frasher is just floating out in the nothingness that is outside of this prison.
Where is he?
Say,
He's just out in the black section below it for some reason.
Yeah, Mavra's down to the lower left there too.
You guys
You're
are
gonna
in.
get us out, right, Mavra?
Oh.
There, I fixed it.
Yeah, I did do something funny with the line of sight in here. I thought so.
Yeah,
And
I
I
can
can't
see
see-
the top 3 cells
I can't
Okay,
see
that makes
inside my
sense.
own cell.
hidden.
same.
Fixed.
Oh, sorry. Did I move myself when I shouldn't have then?
Hey!
Yeah.
Okay, put me back where you want me then. Sorry. I couldn't see any of that, so I thought I was just in, like, off the map down.
Actually, no, they put Bella in her own cell, and they put Frasher and Akiri together. Okay.
So we're definitely having a long debate over whether this is an appropriate nest.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that with the funky line of sight, but that should fix it.
I think Breath is still absent.
So,
Oh. Bref and Mavra together. Okay.
Aww. Brafra.
Alrighty. So everybody can see everything now? Okay.
Mhm.
So you are immediately kind of put in the situation of having to wait on other people to, you know, it's like suddenly you're not on your own schedule. They take your items. They take your weapons, armor, and gold, but they lock it. Bella is informed that her and her retinue stuff is being kept securely nearby. The interview process is a bit grueling. We kind of skipped over it with a roll so that I didn't have to do a scene with all 7 of you, one at a time. But essentially, Frasher spoke for the group in that they thought that your responses were very strange and were quite perturbed by everything, and so they're conducting an investigation, and you are being held in the old governor's prison.
They went with
family
Frasher's
land.
story because he's clearly too stupid to lie.
Pretty much. Bella, I imagine, was having, who normally does this kind of talking, I imagine she was having a nervous breakdown or something after too much stress.
I think I'm probably justified in not being a super huge fan of Mountain Guards at this particular moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to put my hat on.
Also,
Oh,
until
no.
someone explicitly tells him not to, Frasher definitely uses a cantrip to make a bonfire in the corner of the cell.
So they warn you that casting a spell while in this prison will have grave consequences.
To say that before he does this?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
So they, you guys are questioned. You say something along the lines of, we had to defend ourselves because we were attacked. And you're locked up until someone can come by and interview you more fully. He tries to start a small fire.
Like, is there some kindling? Like, can he rub two sticks together? I don't know.
Well, there's a pile of hay.
Fine.
For bedding. There's a bucket. For a chamber pot. And not too much else.
Okay, I guess he probably just curls up in the hay then.
Okay. While you are waiting for, you're not quite sure, but he indicated to you, Rethom indicated to you that another officer would come in and question you all. You are just waiting. It actually does take some hours for all of this to go down. So if there's anything that has to do with that, let me know. Spells expiring, etc.
Would you say we've gotten a short rest?
That's the question.
Not until you are locked up, because then you kind of just wait.
I think after the guards that I can see are out of sight, I'm going to whisper in a way that Bref thinks is subtle over to Bella and say, "Are we gonna break out?"
How subtle is it?
Well, let's
Bref
find
subtle.
out.
So
What?
This be a stealth or a... Because he would be trying to be subtle. I know Bref is not a subtle person.
Well, after a bit of time passes, your manacles are removed, the hustle and bustle of this large group of elite guards kind of leaves you there for a bit. It gets quiet. There's a guy who's sweeping the floor, as you can see. He's kind of pale and looks like he maybe spends a lot of time underground. There's some guards around the corner. If you stick your head kind of, right up against the bars, you can kind of see them occasionally. Eating and doing their own thing over around the corner. I mean, it's up to you. It's your character. He can whisper quietly enough that people couldn't hear, or he could whisper as loud as you want, or you can roll for it if you want. It's really up to you.
I think I would roll for it, because he would be thinking he's being quiet.
Okay.
But he also has a hard time regulating his voice.
All right, go for it.
So would this be stealth?
Sure.
He's a 10 of quietness.
Okay. Well, Bella and Akiri can hear you. Because of where they are standing. And maybe the guy sweeping up too. So you whispered him to Mavra? Are we breaking out?
No, I'm whispering to Bella.
Oh, to Bella across the way. Got it.
And asking if are we going to try and break out? Is that the next move here?
The guy sweeping is like the broom. Kate, are you there?
Did we lose her?
Did we lose Kate?
Just put something in the Discord chat, so I don't know.
Maybe her laptop battery died.
No, my computer froze for a minute. Here I am.
Okay.
So I just asked if we're breaking out.
I don't think that's necessary yet. Let's see how this goes.
Okay. I'll just wait. And I will anxiously begin pacing around the cell.
Kiri is doing the same.
Okay.
So Typha's cold-blooded, and she doesn't like this cold stone, and you know, she has memories of not being cold-blooded, like when she was a rat. And she thinks to herself,
Changing shape's not really magics. You know, just a little change.
and she tries to turn into
She turns into a what?
a rat.
A rat. Okay. When she does so, a loud bell rings. Bong, bong, bong. It kind of seems almost, well, it's not sourceless. It's coming from within your chamber there, Typha and Ziklu.
She quickly changes back.
It's deafening, and the Minotaur comes running over and snorts and looks in the cell, as do the other guards.
Ziklu puts his hands up.
He taps the enormous axe, which is the head of which is practically as large as you are, Typha, against the bars. Low magic.
Okay.
She clicks her little talons together.
We will punish if we must.
Sorry. Just cold. It was all. That was all.
The old Port family does not fine you unless ordered by a judge. But do not test my patience. The humans looking on kind of nod. They you can tell from their kind of their manner. They hold a certain reverence for this guy. Okay. And he kind of looks down the hall and he says, "That goes for all of you." No exceptions. And the sound of his hooves clacking against the stone marks him walking off.
He's kind of mean.
There's a guy over here in green who kind of comes forward and looks across the way, and he says, "Oh, Retham's just a bit cranky. Nothing to worry about. I'm sure you folks have got nothing to worry about. You look, could do magic, huh? I saw you turn into a rat there. Pretty impressive."
Thank you.
He just smiles and says, I could have, use for somebody with that kind of talent.
Uses?
Yeah. Could you, say, convince other rats to leave a ship alone?
Oh, yes, I like talking to rats. Oh, they're so cute.
You hear a sound from around the corner. This is not a business opportunity. Please stop disturbing my lunch.
Wait, are we his lunch, or is he like actively eating lunch?
You can't see from your position, but you can hear the sounds of crunching over at the table in the next room. And you do feel some hunger pangs. At a short time later, there's a loud series of coughing. Kind of wet, sad coughing fits. You had seen a kind of a lump of cloths. It just looked like some discarded rags in a mound in this cell. But then you hear the coughing echoing through the dungeon. And one of the human guards comes round and says, and he holds a cloth over his face, just like a handkerchief over his face. And he looks in the cell and he says, "Are you all right? Would you like some tea, ma'am?" There's a lot of coughing. Then you hear very weakly, "Yes, please," from that cell. And he does return, goes and returns from the other room with some tea that he kind of pushes in with a long stick into the cell and then leaves.
As he's leaving, Ziklu will approach the door and just say, "Tea is hot drink, yes? Can we get some too, please?"
What makes you think you deserve tea?
Sorry.
I just found the bodies of men that I knew, members of our sacred order. You killed them. It is not for me to decide whether your life is forfeit for that. But here's what you get instead of tea. And he slides a bowl of gruel into the cell.
Is it warm, girl?
It is cold. Like his heart.
Yeah, as he's shoving that through, Ziklu will just say, Sorry, we thought they were liar thugs."
So you said. Um, the tea doesn't seem to help all that much, as there are more bursts of coughing from that pile of blankets in that one cell.
Who can actually see through to her cell? I'm assuming just Frasher and Akiri, right?
Depends on the lighting.
You mean this way?
No, we're across the way from the sick person, but
Oh,
Frasher
yes.
is definitely curled up in a pile of hay at this point.
It's actually fairly well lit in here. And there's this guy who's just kind of constantly sweeping up, so it's not that dirty either. It's not exactly comfortable, but it's really could be a lot worse. You want to peer through and try to see this person?
I would.
Okay.
Perception, I'm assuming.
Yep.
$14.
Hang on. This is a totally different folder of my notes. I need to... This isn't in the 50-page document. There we go. Okay. You see... Sorry for the long pause there. You see a dwarven woman whose skin, from what you glimpse of it, seems to be the wrong color. You do
Cool.
not have dark vision, correct?
Nope.
Okay. Is low light vision a thing in 5th edition?
No, it's not.
Okay. You see all that, but she is quite well wrapped up, and actually, I haven't put that many props in here, but her cell is a little more comfortably laid out than yours. There's actually like a carpet laid down and some other stuff. There's like a chair and a table, but she is just lying curled up on this pile of hay. And what you can barely see that's not like covered by blankets, her skin is the wrong color, but she's dwarf sized and kind of, you catch enough of a glimpse of her features to tell that it's a dwarven female.
Cool.
every now and then she will burst out into these just awful coughs. But the guards seem a lot more inclined to help her out than most of you. You guys are just waiting. Time passes.
This is boring. I want to get out.
But we just have to put up with it for a little while, and eventually someone will come in here and realize that this is all a big mistake.
Minutes pass.
Typha's also getting bored, and she's, eyeing all the bricks in the cell and eyeing the floor and all the rest of it. Like, is she seeing any irregularity, or is this just a boring stone cell with the door hay in the corner?
Are you investigating the room?
Yes.
Make an investigation check, please. It's under skills on your character sheet. It's an int roll, basically.
Ugh, not great.
You take a close look around. Again, it's fairly clean. There's really not much in here. The stones are fit together tightly. Sturdy iron bars block the opening of the cell. You can bug Ziklu as he is sitting around. There's a bucket and a pile of hay and guards outside. They don't seem super inclined to talk to you.
Nice complimentary man with the broom is still in the hallway.
Yeah, as the minutes pass to half an hour, he just keeps going around, just sweeping. At some point, he goes over and cleans up the dishes. You're all fed, essentially cold gruel, except Bella, who gets hot gruel.
Well, that's nice.
And you just have this sense of hostility from these guards. They seem to really want to abuse you. Bella, Bref, and Mavra are in a position where they can roll an insight check when the guards come around with the late lunch.
Inside 8.
Double natural 19s for Brev.
Bref, you notice that all the guards, including Rethom, kind of are uncomfortable when near the giant skull coming out of the wall. And they kind of step away from those steps leading downward as quickly as possible.
Hey, what's that giant skull?
Who are you asking?
Anyone I see.
Okay.
Anyone not in our group.
Okay. We'll say it happens to be this guard. And he says, oh, you noticed. That's le donjon oublié, the forgotten dungeon. And he points up. You can see above the skull, carved into the stone, are those words in the language from the Veye Empire. And he says, that's where we put particularly naughty boys and girls, like, say, those who are convicted of murdering a score of guards in broad daylight.
So you put kids in there?
Let's just say kids or not, they tend to not come back.
Why are you putting kids in jail? That's weird.
I think we might have one on our hands, he says, looking over his shoulder.
I look around confused, because I don't see any children.
He says,
I mean, except maybe a Kiri.
He says, a legend has it that a pardon might be granted should one survive the Forgotten Dungeon. But no one ever has.
I mean, we've survived dungeons before. A really creepy one. You know, that one had like a skull and a mouth too. That was a weird one.
What?
I think that
Was that in-game?
Yeah, no, that was in game. That was a Kiri.
What did she say?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've been to a creepy dungeon with a mouth that spat us out.
So you
Oh,
are
that wasn't fun.
you are a habitual criminal then. You've been in prison before.
No, that was a basilisk lair.
His expression changes a bit at that. But they will mostly leave you to your own devices. The hours continue to pass. Those of you with particularly keen senses would begin to feel that the sun was starting to go down outside. And unless Lady Thornsy's players have all been arrested, the play is possibly beginning.
I'm gonna
So-
get the attention of a guard.
Okay. You like stick your hand out and wave or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aiming for a specific guard?
Not really.
Okay. Make roll a percentile die. Alright. You get the rather more flamboyantly dressed one. He's wearing the same kind of uniform as the other two, and he has the bull pin. But he has taken some liberties with his headwear and has like a purple feather stuck in it. He uncomfortably stands near the stairs and says, "Yes."
So, about how long do you normally keep members of the nobility waiting for their trial when they enter the city? I'm just asking for information.
He leans in and says, "Don't try that on me."
Don't try what?
We are not intimidated by you.
You probably should be. Not because of my title, but because me and my friends just killed 24 of your rogue guards. I wouldn't like to have to take this above your head.
Ah, threats. We'll see how far that gets you. Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yeah,
Okay. Make a roll.
18.
Tasty.
It's better than the solid 2s I've been rolling all night.
Right.
So, from his manner, you can tell that despite his words, which are kind of, saying, "I'm not scared of you," you can tell that you are having an effect. He may feel comfortable in his position, but he's also feeling the impact of standing up to a member of the nobility such as yourself. And he kind of he tries to basically just walk away after that. And there's some muttered conversation around the corner. Footsteps receding. And it's been a long wait. But only about half an hour after that, something different finally happens. However, I'm going to update the calendar now because it is just past midnight at this point. Or is it? No, I'm sorry. It is not. It hasn't been quite that long. Yeah, no, I said the sun was just going down not too long ago. Okay. So yes. About half an hour later, a new contingent arrives. And in this group, there is someone that Ziklu, Frasher, and Typha recognize. Your friend, Nuala, I believe is her name.
Mm-hmm. Hooray!
So she arrives accompanied by another elite guard of the order. This one bullheaded. And a small group of other folk. And she kind of comes around the corner and looks into the prison cell, sees Ziklu and Taifa, and heaves a big sigh. And she looks over at up at the large bull man with her, and Rethom, who also kind of comes forward and says, "Yes, it's them. I recognize them. They've been working with us." She says, "Hello, Ziklu, Taifa."
Oh, hello, friends. You gonna get us out of here?
Hello, Nuala friend.
Yep. She says, if you haven't done anything wrong, I'm sure we'll get it all cleared up. She looks around. The other guards following. She is dressed in full uniform as well. She looks kind of tired. She has the Old Port family colors and her bullpen. She comes around and says, looks uncomfortably at the stairs and then at Bella. Says, you must be the Lady Enderal they're talking about.
Yes, when can we expect to be let out of here?
Says, well, hold your horses. We just got to get some things cleared up first. Now, I'm sure you've already told your whole story to Rethom and others. Officer Rethom. And he kind of walks up and says, They seemed awfully unsure about their story. And it was confusing. Not in a good way. There are 10 dead men.
I see what the misunderstanding must have been. You see, I'm still a little sleep deprived from last night when my boyfriend and I were jumped in a dark alley because your guards weren't patrolling enough and he got murdered. Have you made any progress on that? Is that what the holdup is?
I think I heard about that. Wasn't, was he a tiefling?
That's the one.
The work of the Phantom.
So I've heard. That's what it said on the note that they stabbed into his chest anyway.
Max?
Yeah.
With Breff's strength score being what it is, would he even conceivably be able to bend the bars?
You can certainly try.
Because not intentionally, but hearing this talk about Equitus, Breff is, there at the edge, arms on the door, kind of just tensing his muscles, kind of an accidental strength situation.
So he's not like charging the door and trying to kick it open. He's like trying to literally bend it.
This is more of a like so angry, and I'm thinking of those movies where like the villain is getting thwarted by the good guy and they're like in their lair holding their thing and you see blood begin to trickle down their hand because their grip is so tight. He's in that kind of mood hearing Equitus being talked about like this.
Okay. Well, it doesn't work. 17 does not bend the bars. But you go, and they kind of look over at you, see you straining at it, shake their heads like, what is with this guy? And she says, Well, I understand that you are grieving, ma'am. But we have to find out what happened. There are 10, or I guess 11 dead people. 10 of them happened just today, and it seems that you folks were involved. Now, I'm giving you the courtesy of talking to you first, but I'm also going to talk to everyone else here, and we're just going to clear up what happened. And once it's all cleared up, we'll go from there. I have heard that there are good people on the trail of the Phantom, and some of them are in jail with you. So we're going to have to figure that out.
Do what you have to do.
All right. She kind of looks it around. There's a loud coughing fit that she waits through from that one cell. And she says, all right, who wants to tell me what happened?
Bella!
I'll speak if that's acceptable. I'm apparently the one in charge.
Well, you seem to be Lady Enderal, and this is your retinue. At least that's what they are, what Retham is reporting. I am... Oh. I am Nuala Quinzuman. I am the senior officer here. And I have magisterial powers in certain situations, such as this one. So, please, tell me the story.
Very well. After we recovered from the events of last night, we set out upon the actual reason that we were in town, which was to visit my mother, Ariella Beaumont, who is the leader of the troupe that is putting on the production probably right now up on the hill. And while we were enjoying a lunch with her, as they prepared for their dress rehearsal, the gentleman who wound up deceased charged up the hill, brandishing weapons, and implied by their threats that they took issue with the political nature of the play that my mother was engaged to put on by Lady Thorndyke, and that they would kill the entire acting troupe rather than see it performed. I don't know if that was a genuine threat or if they were simply trying to intimidate us, but seeing as my mother's life was at stake, I instructed my friends to defend her at all costs. We were not necessarily aware that they were legitimate members of the Guards, as we assumed that legitimate members of the Guards would not simply attack upstanding citizens in broad daylight for having been engaged by a member of the nobility to put on a theatrical production. I regret that that misunderstanding occurred, although I must admit that I have some questions as to what the nature is of these officers standing with their superiors if they're going about doing these things with their full knowledge.
Make a persuasion roll. She nods and sighs. Almost without... She kind of shakes her head like... She says, I want to answer, but I cannot at this time. I'm sure you understand.
I understand. It was a rhetorical question anyway. I just wanted my general objection to their conduct to be registered. Okay. Although I know it's now irrelevant in the case of most of them.
Okay. Now, she seems to have, resisted it, essentially. But Rethom, who's standing nearby, in response to your last question or comment, kind of grunts and deep in his chest kind of rumbles. Those reprobates.
I'll turn to him and I'll say, I couldn't agree more.
She glares at him. Nuala glares at him. And he quiets down. She says, thank you very much. That seems to make sense. Then she walks over to the cell and she says, Frasher.
I'm curious.
Yes.
Come over here, Frasher. I need to talk to you.
He climbs up out of the hay nest that he made for himself, kind of begrudgingly, and walks over. Yes.
Frasher, I think the account, as I'm hearing it from Rethom's reports and elsewhere, that you gave, doesn't quite make sense. Now, I know that you and your companions have your hearts in the right place. Can you try to make sense? Can you try to explain what happened in a way that you think would be acceptable?
Ooh, that's
He looks like visibly confused. And well, heart is in here. No, so right place.
Right. Frasher, can you just try to explain to me what happened? Why did you kill 10 people?
Oh, well, we went with new friends. With Symbol, yeah? To Plaything. It started boring, but not guards, no Symbol, came with weapons and attacked. So we attacked them back and won. What doesn't make sense?
The Minotaurs kind of look at each other and both of them grunt. Thank you, Frasher. I think we followed that, more or less. She walks over here. The guy in green, by the way, is kind of holding onto the bars, like, with watching and listening with great interest. She looks in here and says, Typha, Ziklu, can you try to explain to me what happened?
Yes. No problem, Nuala friend. The we were trying to investigate the phantom thug, and we wanted more information, like you said. So we tried to find Bella person for more information.
Ah.
Found her at Red Fork Place, and we agreed to all try to find Phantom together, and found good lead for where they went to Sewer Place. Think they may still be down there in Dark Place, but Bella person wanted to see Mother for theater thing, which I don't understand. But while we were there, not guard people tried to attack, and they were wearing masks and did not have symbols. So we thought they were liar thugs. So we dispatched them.
And these were hurting peoples in the play and carts and people watching the plays. They were not nice. And she hisses.
Yes, we thought that guard people wouldn't like fake guard people to be attacking like that. Give guard people bad name.
He nods.
Once again, Rethon goes, oh, those people.
Yes, liar thugs, indeed.
He almost seems like he's a little less hostile. After you say that.
If only he listened 12 hours before.
Yeah.
This is a very different setting. She nods and says, okay, I see. Well, that does... All of you listen up. She calls out to all of you. Your story does bear out with what I've been hearing from Lady Thornsy's players. I think we can work this out. Unfortunately, it's complicated. She walks back toward Bella. While your presence helps some, the fact that it's connected to your mother makes this a somewhat political matter. Do you understand?
I believe so.
We believe that the men that attacked in the square were Ushzak family loyalists. Agitators who have been placed into the guard, which is loyal to the Oldport family, in order to, shall we say, make a point about the new Duke. And since Lady Thornsey commissioned the play, it seems they did not take kindly to the idea of this going forward and smearing Duke Rothdal's good name as the Rothdal family controls the Ushzak pyramid. Now, I know you're new to the city, and these are all a lot of unfamiliar names and families to you. But these are people who carry a lot of power within the city of Westhead. Now, the good thing is, well, it's a double-edged sword that they removed their badges and covered their faces. I'm sure they were trying to slip back in, be able to run the players out of town, then return to their duties as if nothing had happened and no one will be the wiser. The fact that you've killed them, well, it means that we can identify them and prove that they are not Old Port family, not members of the actual order, but simply Rothdal agitators. But I suppose what really matters is that this is good, but it's going to take some time for me to untangle. Because we have to go and prove to the various official magistrates that you were acting in self-defense, you were protecting innocent bystanders from these violent thugs, and that they were running a kind of a false flag operation. I'm sorry, but I cannot simply let you out this time.
I see. Well, that rather complicates things for us because, unfortunately, we were planning to leave town shortly after this. We have a very important mission that we were supposed to accomplish within less than a week. I don't suppose it would be possible for me to engage somebody to return our flying ship to the person we rented it from.
Yes, I think we can get some special dispensation, seeing as you are an Enderal, and that name does carry a certain amount of weight in Westhead, ever since the old family bestowed such favors upon the man who I presume is your father.
Yep. Well, that's good to hear.
I suppose... Well, that brings up a rather uncomfortable subject. Which I hesitate to broach, but... I suppose we're here now. I have no choice, and I apologize for the manner in which this will no doubt cause you some distress. If unclaimed, the body recovered last night from the site of the murder will simply be turned into ash. Cremated.
I see.
There, I don't know if what your beliefs may be, but you can arrange to have that body and any other bodies interred in the pyramid, which many folk come to Westhead in order to accomplish for their loved ones.
How long do I have to make the arrangement?
Since I can put in your claim on the body, I can get you another 24 hours.
All right, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Very well. You will be permitted to send messages out and make necessary arrangements for your ship and anything else you need to do. I will see about untangling the many political threads connected to this matter. Unfortunately, while I have confidence that we can get you out, these matters simply take time. I will have to put in a report with the Rothdal family, with the Old Port family, and with the heads of the order. That's simply how these things work.
Well, I'm sure it will make no difference under the circumstances, but I hope that it will be communicated at least that our actions and presence in the city, and I believe, to the best of my knowledge, that that includes my mother, is entirely apolitical. She's simply a performer under hire and has no connection to any double entendre that might be encoded in the play, and I'm simply here as a supportive daughter. So,
Well, that's not what she said, but I understand you wanting to protect your mother, and she certainly put you in a very positive light.
well, if she wants to if she wants to get involved, I can't stop her. She's old enough to make her own decisions. But I at least have absolutely no idea who any of these people are and wish them all the best of luck.
Wonderful. Well, I will ask the guards to Retham, please make these folks as comfortable as they can be. Unfortunately, they may be in here for some time unless you have some way of cutting through all of this bureaucracy and red tape, for which I once again apologize.
Ziglu will stick his head out of the bars of his cell, and just say, "What about Phantom Thief? He will escape run to new hiding place."
Yes, that is a concern. Thank you, Ziklu. I wish that this had not happened because I want you folks to continue doing the good work that you were doing as associates of the Order of the Sacred Bull. However, circumstances being what they are, we're going to have to hope that the Phantom wants to lay low for a while and get you back on track with him as soon as may be.
If you let us go to find Phantom Person, maybe we can prove that we are friends?
You are being treated as much of friends as I can possibly arrange for. There may be some way for us to expedite your release. I encourage you all to discuss it and come up with a solution. Until then, I will be working as hard as I can to move things along. And again, I do have confidence that we can secure your release. It's just going to take time, considering all of the families concerned.
As she's telling us that she's sure that she's going to secure a release as quickly as possible, can I do an insight check on her?
Yes.
It's a 10.
She seems honest. She seems to believe what she's saying. You definitely are getting the impression that it might take, you know, a significant amount of time, and that she keeps mentioning a possible way to cut through the red tape, which she hasn't explicitly stated. But you can't really get too much more than that.
I see. All right.
All right.
Yeah, Ziklu will just kind of wilt a little bit that his idea didn't work, but then he'll just say, "Okay, thank you, Nuala friend."
She says, "I'm sure we'll be able to speak again soon, and I know that you're going to be fed a bit better, so enjoy your dinner."
Thanks.
We get Swarm's teas now?
Yes, please give them some tea, Officer Retham. Well, if you acted in self-defense and protected some folk from liars, as the little one put it, I think we can offer you a bit of tea, but it's mostly for the sick dwarf. And Officer Nuala will take her leave unless anybody else wants to say something to her.
Not me.
All right then.
So, yeah, I mean, Taifa is curious about the other option discussed with the big skull door, but on the other hand, this is the best accommodations she's probably had since she's been in the city. So she's not in a hurry to leave.
Yeah, this is definitely better than our shack.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have a dirt floor.
It's like
The roof doesn't leak.
Okay. So they offer you dinner. A short time later, Retham comes by and says, "You like fish?"
Fish!
Good. They give you guys there's actually some fish mixed in with like a bunch of veggies and simple food, but not horrible as it was earlier. And a lot of the tension has shifted after that whole interaction. The fact that it was confirmed by a superior that these were kind of not loyal members of the order seems to have had a big impact on how the guards treat you and talk to you. However, you're still in jail. And you are not free, and you are kind of forced to deal with the situation as you find it. But they relax a lot of their hostility and kind of restrictions. They still won't let you do magic, but they will accept notes. And man, Danielle really shrank. What happened?
I know, it's freaky.
She is a dwarf.
She's role-playing a dwarf really well. and they will actually move you guys into like different cells if you request it.
But like the same quality of cells?
Up here, I mean, like you could pair off differently.
Oh, okay.
Is it still a max of 2 to a cell?
They could put 3 in a cell.
Well, Typho wants to go with Frasher.
Okay.
Sure.
I guess if the scaly ones want to be together, Akiri could come in with me.
Yeah, she wouldn't mind that.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Zig would probably rather have more space to himself if that,
Oh!
rather than going into or being the third person in the cell.
I see how it is.
If he's got an opportunity for a cell by himself, he'll take it.
It's like the biggest living quarters he's ever had.
He lies on the ground, spread eagle.
Turns out Ziklu's a bit of a loner. A little bit. Okay. Time will pass. Okay, they move up here as request.
There is one thing I'd like to do now that I'm in the cell and now that I have line of sight into the sick dwarf cell. You know, she's very curious about what all this coughing is. Could I do a nature check or a medicine check to see if she can puzzle out what's going on?
If you're peering through the bars across the cells, yeah, you're gonna have disadvantage. But you can make a medicine check.
That's fair. Sorry, 1 sec. 17. Oh no, 13, excuse me, for the disadvantage.
Hey, Frequency, thanks for the follow. I just saw that. You followed 30 minutes ago. 17.
13 with a disadvantage.
Oh, 13 with disadvantage. Yeah, because you can't get a good look. You can't really get more information than I already said to Akiri, I think. It's a female dwarf. She's sick. She's really wrapped up. And her skin is a weird color. But it's hard to tell. The lighting is pretty good, but not great. She looks flushed.
Oh, yeah. When the dwarf starts coughing again, Kira's gonna elbow Bella and say, "Oh yeah, there's a dwarf in the next cell over, and she's got a pink chill, it looks like."
Right. Seems like we can't escape that either.
Well,
I mean, if you have any ideas of how to help her, but as far as I'm concerned, we're still in the middle of our research on that.
yeah, I've got a couple things I might be able to try, but I don't know. Well, what do we know about it again? I wasn't paying attention.
Right. Well, it's probably caused by well, it was originally created by a devil or a demon. I always get those confused. Who was a rebel against hell and draws power from sick people. And the dwarves pissed everybody off somehow, so he created a disease that only attacks them. And the more dwarves get it, the more powerful he becomes in his long, slow march toward taking over hell. I have it all written down. I can, whenever we get back to the inn, and we can go over my notes. But that's the gist of it.
So I guess my question is, do you think a remove curse or a lesser restoration would work better?
I'm not sure that either one will work particularly well because I'm sure that people have already tried that.
True.
But I would say that remove curse would probably have a better chance.
Alright.
That's my guess. I'm not sure.
That's what I was thinking might work better too. Do you think they'd let us do?
Nope.
That's what I figured too. Do you think it's worth a shot?
Nope.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it will work. There's definitely a lot of people who have been trying to figure this out for centuries, and I'm pretty sure that one spell that you can toss off several times a day isn't going to do it. But if you want to give it a try.
Nah, I'm not that desperate. And she goes back to pacing.
Okay.
Hey,
do-
Fresh.
Go ahead.
Fresher. Fresher.
What?
You remember how in Tribe, when people criminal, they fight, the big chieftain, and if the chieftain kills them, they're guilty.
Yes.
What? Why'd they put us in this weird houses? Why'd they not make us fight?
Oh, wow. They want to talk, I guess.
Do you think we could ask them to fight to get out? This is real boring and cold.
They don't want to fight us. We killed like 10 of them. They put us here so we won't kill them.
Hey, man with broom. Broom?
He kind of...
Broomy!
He arrives, is this before dinner or after dinner?
I'd say it's probably after at this point.
After at this point. He walks up, instead of a broom, he is wearing like a hairnet over his balding head and beard, and is covered in the stains of fried fish and vegetables.
You smell delicious.
Yes.
Yes.
Broom man, we're real bored. Is there a way to fight the chieftain and get out of here?
You hear... Are you saying that, like, how loud are you saying that?
She's not subtle, so loud enough.
You hear a shout from around the corner.
Hey, I thought we was friends now. And she shrinks.
The dungeon is supposed to be boring. This isn't a play for your amusement, despite what the tall, scaly one says.
But why makes people fight to get out? You would be entertained.
Keep it down and stop talking to the hired help.
She shrivels into a puddle.
Yes, you see, they are afraid. They don't want us to fight.
Rhythms.
You should rest for when we eventually have to fight.
She serpentine-like sneaks under the hay, curls into a tiny ball, and falls asleep.
Okay. All right, so she goes to sleep. The guy wearing the chef apron, covered in stains, is still standing there, kind of like frozen, like almost afraid at having been having been addressed directly. And as things quiet down and the guards kind of go back to, it sounds, you hear the rattle of dice actually. It seems like they might be playing some kind of game.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Probably. The pale guy in the apron kind of leans toward the bars of the cell. And he says in his quavering, very quiet voice, "The nightmare."
Nightmares is?
You hear from under the pile of hay. I realize I'm asleep. I can't say this. Never mind.
He's leaning forward into the cell. I guess since you went to sleep, he's talking to Frasher, even though he's answering Typha's question.
Frasher was the one who made the bed out of the hay in the first place. Frasher's back over there for sure too.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this wouldn't have been long enough for you to go to sleep quite yet. So you hear him. You hear him, Typha. You hear him, Typha.
Okay, then she does perk up under the hay and sticks her weird little scaly head out.
I need fan art of that.
The nightmare.
I mean, can we hear this over here?
Barely, but yes.
It's just that and dice. Those are the only things going on. Right?
His little whispering, quavering voice is barely. It's not loud enough to. Yeah, it's not loud enough if you're sitting over some dice. Probably the guards can't hear it, but you guys can barely.
I say, what are you talking about, friend? And I am trying to be quiet.
You could. There is pardon for one who. Those who defeat Chikar. The nightmare.
All right.
By royal decree of de La Fontaine.
Sounds like it was a long time ago.
She asked. It asked? I answered. The old Port family. Loyalists. Memories are long.
And what is Chikar the Nightmare?
He turns toward you since you are talking to him and not Typha hasn't said anything yet, or since then. He walks up, this pale guy. There's something very unnerving about him. His staring eyes, his balding head. He looks like kind of like a underground creature, but since he's human, it's especially disturbing. He says, "Hey, murderers, Serial killer.
Chaikar is just a murderer?
He was. But he became something else after they locked him up. Down there. He points at the stairs.
Right. And that's why nobody survives when they go down.
He shakes his head. Chaikar Heshet. They called him the Nightmare after he carved a bloody trail through West Head's low-life population.
It must have been pretty bad for the ability to take notice of a bunch of lowlifes being killed.
Bad, yes. He had been some kind of doctor, I suppose. I don't know. But he certainly was famous. And eventually, a reward was offered, including a full pardon for anyone that slew the Nightmare.
But no one's ever actually managed to do that.
They locked him away, and then they had to give up on the bottom floor of the dungeon. Now they've built this one. More modern stonework. Anyway, if you're... It's probably not worth your lives if you want to just wait. But the scaly girl asked me a question, and I answered. The Oldport family would honor the old imperial decree.
And would they give us back our weapons in order to enable us to do this? Or would we just be sent down helpless?
I suppose you'd have to ask Officer Retham.
Well then, thank you for telling us all about that. It can't be an easy thing to remember.
No. No, the Nightmare killed my grandmother.
I'm sorry for that.
Chaikar Heshet. It's horrible. Anyway, I have a feeling you might have a chance. But then again, nobody else has come back. And some folk who are not pushovers have tried. So, glad you enjoyed the fried fish. Probably more fried fish tomorrow. Good night.
Can I make a knowledge history check on this name at some point?
Absolutely, you can.
$26.
There we go.
Okay.
Why this is the thing I rolled hide on, I don't know.
Great great grandfather.
maybe your dad knew of him and you read up on it or something.
No, your dad knew him personally.
Bella just listens to a lot of those serial killer podcasts as we're wandering around the wildlands.
That's a mood.
It rings a bell. The nightmare wasn't, that was just the nickname the broadsheets gave him, the newspapers. But yeah, he was a serial killer that terrorized Westhead, kind of a Jack the Ripper kind of character. Except he was eventually caught after slaughtering a contingent of elite guards.
How big was the contingent?
Well, with a 26, she knows there were exactly 13 Minotaurs slain.
Gee willikers.
That's not good.
And kind of partially because of the way they think Minotaur. Let's just say it's part of their culture. He was locked away in a labyrinth. Unfortunately, after that, something went real wrong down there. He killed all the other prisoners in the dungeon and guards. Basically made such an impact that this reward was in fact put out by the Oldport family and given the official stamp by the royal family, the de la Fontaine family of Westhead.
I'm so glad I'm sleeping next to this door.
Knowing that such a presence is down there, and apparently still killing people all this time later, generations later, definitely makes the hairs rise on your arm.
I'm gonna go ahead and not tell Akiri this.
Okay.
That's probably the best.
So, sorry, did the helper person mention that this person was, or used to be a Minotaur?
This person
Or
did
was that
not
just-
used to be a Minotaur, no.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
No.
Sorry, I misunderstood. Okay.
He killed, when they took him down, part of the reason that a reward was later offered for him was that he killed a bunch of guards, like elite guards who were Minotaurs then as well.
Okay.
And, of course, they then locked him up in a labyrinth, because that's how they think. And then he killed everything in the labyrinth and became his lair. And it's still down there.
Okay.
There was actually There was actually a kind of a saying for a while. Dead as a nightmare victim. That was, said among certain folk in West Head.
Well, Ziklu doesn't know any of this, so once that conversation is over, Ziklu will just kind of pop his head out of the bars again and say down towards Bella, Ziklu is very good at fighting bad things in dark places. Maybe we should try?
This thing seems pretty bad. I mean, I don't want to be the voice of discouragement here, but according to the legend, he killed 13 elite guards who went after him at the same time. There's only 7 of us. But
I mean, we killed 10 elite guards.
Yeah.
They weren't elite, but...
Ziklu doesn't know that.
Oh, okay. Ziklu doesn't know. Corey knows. Got it.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to ask what the situation would be. But it doesn't sound like a fair fight.
This is out of character since Typha is sleeping. But they said it was a labyrinth that they put him in. I mean, did they allude to there being an exit to that labyrinth? Or you get pardoned and get out by killing the nightmare?
The second one.
Okay.
And, I mean, the definition of labyrinth versus it's another... There was an older, larger prison underneath the prison that you're currently in that has now been abandoned.
Got it.
Because of this one dude.
So it's somewhere in between a labyrinth and like a haunted mental hospital. That's kind of what I'm picturing.
Well, that's certainly the impression your character seems to have gotten. A short time after this, this guard comes by and says, "Lights out, everyone." And he pauses. He starts putting out the lanterns and that are hanging on the wall. Actually, they're rush lights, for the record. And he pauses at the cell where the coughing fits have been coming from, and kind of checks in on that lady. He says, "Miss Sungart, are you all right?" She coughs, and he says, "All right, try and get some sleep." He holds a handkerchief over his face, by the way, whenever he gets close to the bars. And says, "Get some rest. Hope you feel better in the morning." And while a lot of tension has... No, he is not.
Can I call out to him? You don't have to cover your face. It only affects dwarves.
While a lot of the tension has kind of gone away from Retham's interactions with you guys, this guy still seems to have kind of a desire to mess with you. And he kind of leans in and he says, "Oh yeah? Know all about that, do ya? You also a habitual criminal. You hang out with in a lot of prisons with sick dwarves, do ya?"
That's an awfully big word for a prison guard.
Here's another big word for you. Quarantine. He puts out the rush light, snuffs it, and walks away.
Ella, what's a quarantine?
It means when you're sick and they don't let you talk to anybody in case you get them sick.
That sounds like it sucks. Let's not get
Yeah,
quarantined.
we're not going to get quarantined. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling.
That's probably the sickest burn you've ever issued, Breath, and I don't think you even know it.
All right. Things begin to...
Question.
Yes.
Max. Question. Is tonight a full moon?
How would you know?
That's fair. We wouldn't. We're about to find out.
Well, there would be one way to know for sure.
That's true. We're about to find out. Hey. Cool.
Check the calendar.
I can't tell if it's today or tomorrow. That's the thing. It's one of the two. I'm assuming it's tonight then.
Gets darker. The sounds of the guards begin to fade. Maybe they have, they have another room that you passed by earlier where they have a space for them to sleep. Anybody who's here overnight. It begins to quiet down. Typh is already asleep. Is everyone else going to sleep as well?
Yep.
Not comfortably, but yes.
Ziklu's probably been kind of like drowsing throughout the day. This is probably when he's most alert. Now that all the lights are out.
He's been drowsing throughout the day that he fought a battle.
No, I mean like
questioned by a bunch of humans.
like he was trying to calm down. I don't mean he's been like sleeping, but he's not ready to go to sleep yet. Is my point.
Okay, how late does he stay up?
Probably another couple hours at least.
Okay. Alright, so he'll want to sleep late as well then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, unless anyone says otherwise, or wants to do anything, sleep descends. Except Ziklu is keeping himself awake somehow in the dimness.
Pinching
Himself. Alone in his own cell. Ziklu, even the coughing fits from the dwarf begin to fade as the peace of sleep spreads throughout the uncomfortable dungeon. The hours pass. It must be fully dark outside. Maybe close to midnight. You're looking around. You're starting to get drowsy. Start to think about curling up on the bale of hay. And then you hear it. Faintly. Coming from elsewhere in the dungeon. And that's where we'll take our short break. 5 minutes, folks. We're going to hit the head, come right back. So we will be back in just about 5 minutes. So see you again shortly for more of the Wildlands.
Hello again.
And we're back. Thank you for your patience. Back from break. Right. So, Ziklu, you heard a disturbing sound just as you were drifting off to sleep. And I am going to ask Bref to roll a D100. Well, actually, nope. Just a D20, please.
Three.
I don't know if that's really good or really bad.
Could you roll... Could you roll a 2d8 for me?
It's a 4 and a 2, total of 6.
Could you roll a d10 for me?
And that's a 8.
Thank you.
I don't like this.
Ziklu, you hear this horrible, tearing sound. In real life, have you ever heard someone, like, ripping apart a chicken? Ripping the leg off of the wing off of the body and etc.
Mm-hmm.
That sound of, like, the sinew and bones cracking and stretching, breaking up, tearing apart. You hear a sound like that after the growling. And a man-like or beast-like scream, which is disturbing in that you can't really place it. And you you then hear this sound of someone like an animal attacking. This bestial roar and the sound of claws and teeth hitting flesh. And at the same time, a female scream. Is Maver coming back soon?
She is. There was a child situation.
Okay.
I'm guessing I'm kind of on autopilot at this moment. Maybe we could swap out.
You are on autopilot, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. In the meantime, would Ziklu have any idea of what's going on, like with his knowledge of monstrosities or anything? Does this or does this sound familiar to him?
Also, his dark vision.
Well,
yeah, I don't think I can really see
fortunately,
into that area very well.
You do not get your monstrosity bonus.
Okay.
Favorite enemy bonus, but you can still make a wisdom roll. Mavra, you have been awakened by taking damage.
Okay.
Yeah, tonight's the full moon.
Would it be just a straight wisdom check, or would it be nature or survival?
Yep, it's a tiger with human hands and a nose. It's weird.
That's
and uncomfortable in so many ways. Bref has grown brighter orange hair. He has turned into that. This half man, something between a beast and a person. And you are going to take you are going to take 18 damage.
I just healed her for that. Dang it.
And you wake up with this, and it smells like, it smells weird too. It smells like a predator, like a big hairy animal is just savaging you, and it's on top of you. You're essentially grappled, and it's trying to rip your throat out. And you are in dire straits, and that's how you wake up, is that's happening. Roll initiative.
All of us or just her?
This would certainly awaken you all. I guess you could all roll initiative if you want.
Yeah, Zeklu definitely will, because he's got something he wants to do.
So do you want me to roll initiative, or do you want to take control of that?
Oh, you're back. Go ahead and roll. It'll be a different. Well, no. Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Just getting that out of the way real quick.
I guess that's thematically appropriate.
That's you. It's super weird and uncomfortable.
What the heck? I'll roll initiative too.
Okay. Mavra, I kind of narrated that you screamed involuntarily because you are awakened by this monster on top of you. It's like breath, but as I've described, his hair is kind of thicker and more and even more orange, and he's burst out of his clothes, and he's like somewhere between a man and a beast. Okay, Bref, I'm gonna ask you to okay, so Mavra is now awake and struggling. So I am going to ask you to I want you to roll with advantage. You have her pinned down, so go ahead. Yeah, you roll. Roll 2d20 for me at the same time. Okay.
So 14's the higher.
Mavra, what's your AC without your armor bonus?
One moment.
Yeah, let me check your character sheet. Actually, I don't want to mess it up because it'll reset things if I open it up.
She has
5 chainmail.
Yeah.
Okay, so without what does the chainmail set it to? What's your dexterity bonus? That's what I should ask. What's your dexterity bonus? Because I don't think you have any other
2.
AC bonus. Okay, so your AC is currently 12. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set that. There we go. Uh, okay. So, all right. So go ahead and roll 2d20 for me 2 more times. So 2d20 and then 2d20 breath.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, I knew I screwed that up.
That was 2D hundreds.
Yeah, I did some bad math, and Mavra, I'm going to need you to take 9 more damage from the previous attacks.
All right, I missed that.
So it was 18 damage that woke you up. I said 18, but it should have been 27.
26?
26, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Breath. You... okay, so this thing that is like Breath but isn't, and is some kind of horrible bestial version of him, somehow rolled a 2d100, which is impressive. Okay, so that is a hit, and okay, they're all hits. All right, so roll 2d8 and a d10 for me. Okay, and we will add. What's your strength?
16.
Okay.
So plus 3.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be adding 9 to all of that. So that is 19. Yes, 19 damage to Mavra. His fingernails have turned into claws. They've gotten long, and there's like your skin and blood is collecting under his fingernails as he savages you. Bref, you are not in control of yourself, and you have her pinned down, and you're not really aware of this. Thrasher, you rolled initiative. You just woke up.
Yeah, so I wake up and I hear some amount of that, right?
You can hear what sounds like an animal attack happening in the next cell over, and screaming.
Yeah, so I will kind of not stand up fully, but get kind of into a low crouch in this back corner here, and I will also kind of shake Typha awake, and then ready. He's going to ready an action to if anything comes to the front of the cell, he's going to cast create bonfire under it, like in that square where the door is.
So the way readying works in 5th edition is that you have to actually cast the spell, then hold the charge.
Oh, that's weird. Really?
And it actually uses concentration while you're doing so.
That's that.
So readying spells sucks.
Yeah, that's why is it like that?
They did some funky things in this edition.
Like if you ready a bow or something, it's whatever.
I still haven't figured out exactly how.
Just say that's his plan, and if it doesn't work mechanically, it'll just happen on his next turn.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Ziklu.
So, Ziklu wants to get some guards in here. Because something terrifying is happening that he can't see, and he has no ways to defend himself right now. So, he's going to cast Disguise Self.
Okay, that will set off the loud bell ringing sound.
Yep. And as soon as he hears that, he's going to cancel his concentration on Disguise Self.
Okay. The bells will last for 1 round. And since the Anyway, those last for one round after you cancel the
Okay.
spell. Okay. If that is the end of Ziklu's turn, then it is Bella's turn. There's a thunderous bell ringing from Ziklu's cell. Bella, you are just been awakened by all of these sounds. You're lying on the pile of straw with Akiri next to you.
All right. Would I have to make a check to realize what's going on, or could I contextualize from fact that I already know in game what's going on?
You can contextualize. Also, don't you have dark vision?
Yeah, I do. Okay,
you can
so I guess I
roll
can
over
see
and
him.
kind of see him.
Oh crap!
Barely
I'm-
at the edge of your dark vision, but you can.
Okay, I'm going to run to the edge here and start yelling for the guards to come and help.
Okay. Yeah, you're trying to yell over the bell sound, which is somewhat effective.
Yeah.
Akiri.
Oh boy.
What just happened with Typha?
She tried to roll her initiative, but she didn't click on her thing in the map, so it didn't come up in the order.
Yep,
So, okay, you can edit your initiative to 3 then.
that's fine.
Or whatever it was supposed to be. Okay. Sorry. Akiri, what are you doing?
I don't know. I can't really do anything at all. Because I can't really even get eyes on Mavra if I'm where Bella is. At all. Yeah, no, I'm pretty useless. Actually, Akiri is going to jump up behind Bella because she knows what's going on.
Can you edit your initiative for me, Mavra, please? Thank you. Okay, you move up behind Bella and do what?
And hold. Can I hold a healing word until I see Mavra?
Did you hear what I said earlier about holding spells?
Not quite. Didn't quite
Okay,
catch it.
so the way holding spells works in 5th edition is you have to cast the spell and then hold the charge, and you have to it uses your concentration while you're doing that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, so when you do, that will also trigger a bell sound from your cell.
That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm
it's-
holding a level 3 healing word.
Okay, it's deafening. So you are it's dark right now, so you're blinded, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping the guards will come in and hit the lights.
Ziklu, there is a rush light still smoldering over here.
Okay.
So it's very dim light over there.
Sure.
It's not reaching to your companions. Bref. Okay. The thing that is the cursed version of Bref goes. Bref, I'm going to ask you to...
went this
What, did I
round.
skip Mavra?
Yes.
Mavra's not on the initiative list for some reason.
The initiative
Or-
got
She
messed
is?
up.
She is now.
I also
Everything
I am
skipped...
now, but it's
I
out
also
of order.
skipped Typha, so I don't know how that
Yeah,
happened.
neither one of them were on there.
All right, let me
Yeah,
fix it.
I
Let me
messed
fix
that up.
it.
That's all.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We're going to give Maver her turn now.
So is he on top of me?
Yeah, you are
Or
basically
can I see
pinned
that?
down. You're basically pinned down by this weird, overgrown version of Bref. And with his long, sharp fingernails, He is just ripping at you. And with his teeth, which, by the way, it's his regular human teeth, except they're, like, a little bit longer and sharper.
Okay, can I just try to push him off as hard as I can?
Yeah, it's essentially
What I-
make a I think an athletics check for me. You're essentially trying to break his grapple. Is more or less what that means.
13.
Okay. Would she have disadvantage from being prone? Is the question. I'm gonna ask Jeremy. Can you roll a 2d20 for me, or just 2d20?
Not like that.
Okay, well, his first roll was a natural 20, so pretty much regardless of what happened with Mavra, the beast retains its grip on you. So you used your action to try and shove him off. So what happens is, Mavra, you're like, ugh! You use your strength, you try and shove him off of you. But the beast retains its grip on you.
I guess I'm gonna try to see if I can get a fist free and just punch him as hard as I can.
Do you have a way of making an attack without using
I'm not sure.
an action? Or I guess you could use your special fighter thing, couldn't you?
Action surge.
And don't you
Would
have a
I
way
just-
of refreshing your action surge that you used earlier that day?
And yes, you can use your tattoo, your
I
seal.
can spend a hit die.
You can spend a hit die as a... what kind of action?
To get an extra action surge.
What kind of action is it to spend the hit die, though? Does that make sense? Are you following the questions I'm asking?
Yes, and we just need to find where that's written.
Oh. Yeah, that would be a good thing to put on your character sheet later.
Oh, it's as an action.
Ah. Okay.
Okay, then that ends my turn.
Okay. Just to double check, you only get one action surge per day right now, right? Normally.
Yes.
Well, until a long.
I thought it
rest.
was a short rest.
Yeah. After a long rest.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if you got it back after a short rest, then you would have it right now. Alright, so Mavra tries to get out of the beast's grip and does not succeed. I gotta roll. Okay.
I think I'm next in the messed up order.
Yeah, we have to fix that. Typha.
So I'm assuming that she's been yelling for help and it's not just been inarticulate screams. Is that fair?
Who are you talking about?
Mavra.
I don't know. Mavra has control of her character.
Mavra, you've been yelling for help in addition to like the inarticulate screaming.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe just continually screaming.
It's up to you.
Action surges. Action surges are a short rest.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go to Typhus' turn, let's give
ahead.
Mavra a chance to use that if she wants.
Okay,
So you
then
could-
I'm just gonna attack him.
Okay. I will say you could also make another attempt to break the grapple because it's a full action. So that option is open to you, but you could just punch him if you wish.
I can try to.
Actually, that'd probably be better because
Okay,
you don't have your axe.
yeah, I'll try to push him off again, and then.
Okay. Both of you roll a d20. What's your strength modifier, Mavra?
5. Hold on. Yeah, 5.
Oh wait, yeah, you're a lot stronger than I am.
Okay, so you have a 9, and Bref, your strength is 16. Mavra, with a surge of action that you're training in reflexes and using your own adrenaline as a fighter, you shove again, unexpectedly, a second shove, and you throw the monstrous beast off of you. With a roar, it falls to the side, and that actually, you still have movement, so you could use half your movement to stand up.
Okay, I'm gonna do that,
Okay.
and then I'm going to non-lethally.
Well, I think no, you already used your action to push me off.
Oh, okay.
Bonus
I thought
action, second one.
I'm gonna use my bonus action for second wind.
Nice.
And
Very nice.
If you manage to get within eyesight of me, I have a healing spell prepped for you.
It's dark.
Dang it.
You're blinded. Alright, second wind triggers and ameliorates the damage a little bit. Okay, so that was Mavra's turn. So she actually broke the grapple, shoved off the beast, used all her resources to just stay alive as the cursed Bref is ripping her apart. But he will no longer have advantage on all of his attacks, so thumbs up. Okay, now it's Typhus' turn. Thank you so much, Mavra.
Okay, so recognizing that this is one of her companions yelling for help and screaming, the little kobold is going to gather her courage.
Oh, you guys are next door.
Let me see if I can
too.
remember to move. So she's going to use 25 feet of her movement to use there and wild shape into a rat and try to squeeze under the bars.
More bong, 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 bong. It's quite deafening with all 3 of them having been triggered. Okay, so she is now a rat.
Do you have a token for that?
Give me a second. This goddamn Skaven, so impatient.
Do rats have dark vision?
Let me double check.
Do you want to
I'd be
be
surprised
kind
if
of a
they
cute
didn't.
rat or a gross rat?
Cute rat, please. She thinks they're super cute.
Okay.
Dude, same.
They do have dark vision 30 feet. They also have keen smell, so she's gonna notice how super bad he smells.
So you're a rat. You smell a giant cat. What do you do?
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know all the ins and outs of how that works. Do you get their mental stats?
I retain my mental stats. And hang on, mental and one other. Oh, so cute. Sorry, hang on, rules check.
I have a lot of rats.
I'm sorry, I don't have the player's handbook in front of me.
Okay,
but
what's
I know
the
I
question?
retain my mental stats.
Okay.
You were asking if I what stats I retain. I know I retain intelligence and wisdom.
Yeah, it's cool. I know you just started using this character and you're not super familiar with druids to begin with. So, yeah. We'll figure it out, and next session you'll be 100% confident in Wild Shape, I'm sure. All right, but for now we'll say that you retain your own mental stats. So you are not terrified of the giant cat.
No, but that does end my movement because it has less movement than my base form, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
So next turn, the rescue rat will be on its way.
All right. Okay. So then, then it's top of the round, isn't it? Beref, I'm going to need you to roll 3d20 for me. Let's make this fast.
One of those is delightfully low.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Mavra,
Yes.
the beast man slashes at you with his fingernails, and you duck. He does it again, and you weren't ready for him to aim low. And that gets you.
Is this a 1d8, 1d10?
This is just 1d8, please. Plus 3. Okay, you're going to take 11 slashing damage. And then he is going to kind of does that as like a moving attack, kind of a hit and run. And he runs into the corner. And crouches down. Like all his muscles tensing. And you would get an attack of opportunity, but you are not proficient with fists. Okay.
Just say for the record that that's dumb.
Yeah,
Aren't
that
fighters
is.
proficient with all weapons?
Are they?
Both simple. They're proficient with simple and martial weapons.
Take a free punch.
Yeah, I think the whole not proficient with fist things was a 3-5 thing.
Okay. A 3-5 thing, a 3-0 thing, and a Pathfinder thing, so...
Yeah, but I don't think it's a
Common-
5e thing.
Common sense says that Mabra has definitely punched you.
Mavra, you are not ready for all of this chaos and craziness. Your punch does not connect. Alright.
Max,
Fresh.
can I mention that I did something stupid before?
Sure.
I forgot that because I'm Circle of the Moon, I technically still had an action left and I could have used it to dash.
Cool. We're gonna leave that as is, I think, this time.
That's fair.
Uh,
Thank you.
Okay. You'll know next time. For what it's worth, I forgot to mention that there are some bagpipes on the weapon rack over here. Frasher, it's your turn.
So it's like deafening, like chaotic noise, and my friend just ran off and became a rat. So I guess I will move up to the bars as well and see what I can see.
I imagine,
which I assume is nothing.
I imagine that Wild Shape is a little less horrifying in terms of the noises it makes than the curse of lycanthropy.
Yeah. I mean, especially with Typha, it's probably really cute somehow.
Yeah, so it makes like a wah, 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 wah noise instead of like the bending.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway. Okay, so Frasher moves up and waits. I think you said.
You cut out there for a little bit.
Frasher moves up and waits?
Yeah, so, I mean, crazy amount of noise. It's pitch black, but he can see fine. I can hear stuff coming to the left, but I can't get... There's, like, no way out of this cell, right? We're locked in.
Yep, there's a locked metal grate.
Since there are already 3 alarms going off, he will go ahead and summon, say, a longsword packed weapon, and just to have something.
Well, that will add to the general cacophony.
Sure will.
And yeah, you can describe that later when someone can actually see it. Ziklu.
Okay. I didn't ask this before, but how far apart are the bars on these cells? Or would it make sense for Ziklu to possibly be able to squeeze between them?
They're about 6 inches apart.
Okay. Then probably not.
Not unless he has something special going on.
He does not. So Ziklu will instead just kind of be focusing his attention on the light over here, and as soon as he sees somebody coming down, he's going to try to get their attention and point them to that cell.
All right, I'm going to give you a ready symbol because you are readying an action.
Okay. That's all I got.
Akiri.
Well, that spell failed.
I guess so. I guess I'll let you continue holding it. If you want to maintain concentration.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll maintain concentration and just... Come on.
Bella.
And that's my turn.
Alrighty. I'm going to... I can see breath from where I am, right? Yeah. So,
Yes.
I'm going to look at breath. And say, hey, breath. Really confident in my ability to do this. Why did the weird tiger cross the road?
Oh.
Get to the other side.
What is
My favorite is Mavrid dying with laughter.
So do you have a special range modifier to that spell?
Oh, god damn it. I thought it said 60 feet. I just spaced out and misread it. No, I don't.
Okay. The spell will fail then.
Yeah.
But there are more bells ringing. And finally, there is a response. I mean, it's only been a few seconds, really.
Okay, that's fair.
But you hear a shout. What the fuck is going on? Appearing, holding a burning torch, is Retham. Ziklu, that will trigger ready to action.
All right, yeah, I'm going to shout to Retham, "Monster thing in cell place!" And I'm going to try to point over to the direction where all the sound is coming from.
Oh, really? He's got circles under his eyes. He looks very angry at being awakened. And he hefts his two-handed axe in one hand, torch in the other, and walks over here. And you hear some footsteps. Oh, I guess you can see some other people following. He looks around the corner, cautiously.
Yeah, as he gets closer, I'll be pointing over in that direction.
What's going on? Typha.
Okay. Squirts outside the bars. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I was off. I
He
squeeze through
sees
the
that.
bars for 5 movement. Then I'm going to use my action to resume my normal shape.
Okay. He has a strong reaction to that.
Well, that's fine. He can have his strong reaction. And then she's going to move here. And I think seeing Mavra so hurt, she is going to Healing Spirit.
Okay. Is that a bonus action or a standard action to cast?
It is a bonus action.
I think you used a bonus action to transform, didn't you?
Well, so my question regarding that is, can I use a full action in lieu of one of them? Are they not interchangeable?
They are not. You're thinking
crap.
of an older edition.
Crap. Okay, hang on. Let me check my spell.
I agree it's a bit weird, since that's supposed to be like an advantage for you. And it's actually screwing you in this instance.
Yeah, shit. Hang on.
I'll let you do it this time.
Yay! Alright, I'm gonna cast that as a level 3 spell then. So, you're going to see a magical, glowing, crocodile. Here. And
That was
Mavra,
unexpected.
looking at that crocodile. Huh?
That was unexpected.
Mavra, you understand that that crocodile means you no harm. And it looks at you with compassion in its eyes.
It's cold.
And it's cold, dead
Lizard
eyes.
eyes.
And that spell description one more time. I think I might be able to heal her this turn.
I'm very confused. I don't recognize this spell.
Yeah, I have no idea what she's doing
Heal
over
the
there.
wounded, and this intangible spirit appears in a space that is a 5-foot cube you can see within range. That's within a 60-foot range. Until the spell ends, whenever you or a creature you can see moves into the spirit space for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, you can cause the spirit to restore 1d6 HP to that creature. If it's cast at a higher level, it deals an additional 1d6 healing per spell slot above second. So, if she starts her turn there in the square with my magical glowing crocodile, she's going to heal 2d6. You're welcome.
At the start of whose turn?
The start of Mavra's turn.
What book is this spell from?
I have no idea.
I think it's from Xanathar's. I can double
Of
check.
course.
just make up whatever you want and then say it's from Xanathar's. That's how this
Yeah,
works.
it's a Xanathar spell. I'm looking at it right now.
That was wild, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. At the start of whose turn it heals?
Neighbors.
Okay.
So if somebody was to enter the square with a crocodile or start their turn in that
It's a
square.
healing fountain thing, but it looks like a crocodile for some reason.
Wow.
All right. We're going to move on to Bref's turn now. Bref, you... What?
No, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I got confused.
Okay. The Tiger Man bursts out of the corner and does this pounce attack on you, Mavra. And as he does, just flies at you with his somewhere in, it's like it's Bref's fingernails and teeth, but like slightly longer and sharper. And he just tries to claw you and bite you. And he's already got some of your skin and blood in his under his fingernails and on his teeth. Can you roll 3d20 for me, please, Bref?
Sorry, I keep clicking the wrong dice.
It's okay.
So it's an 8, a 9, and a 14.
Okay, with your... Okay. Alright. So, Mavra, you are hit... twice. So can you roll a d8 and a d10 for me, please, Bref? I'm sorry. Mavra, can you make a strength saving throw, actually? That's what I should have asked for. Nice. Okay, so he will not manage to knock you down, and he will not manage to bite you. But he will claw you with his man-long fingernails and do only 1 point of damage. Which worked out for you, I guess. Mavra, it is then your turn. You immediately heal. So, Lindsay, can you roll 2d6, please?
Yeah.
I roll a d6? Is that what?
No, Lindsay does.
Oh, Lindsay does. Okay.
Oh man, that sucks. Well, you get 5 hit points back.
Mavra heals 5. Frasher, Mavra, it's still your turn. Frasher, you're on
Damn
deck.
crocodile.
Oh, hang on. Let me make sure there's no wisdom bonus to that. But you can go ahead.
I'm gonna disengage and move back into this, well, like at the end of the crocodile here.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just 2d6 straight.
Okay. There we go. Alright. Okay, Mavra, so you move over there. Was there something else you wanted to do? Or is it going to do your turn?
No, that's all I'm gonna do for now.
Okay, great. Frasher, your turn. Ziklu on deck.
Okay, so my friend the rat has run off. There is still a huge amount of noise. I said longsword before, but I actually have a warhammer listed on my sheet, so I want to go with warhammer instead. And it's kind of like primitive looking, like it's kind of a rough hewn piece of wood, and like two like skull shaped rocks making up the sort of hammer end of this thing, and he's going to try to smash. I don't know if there's an actual like padlock on the door or what, but he's going to try to smash his way out.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Alright, it's not an attack roll?
Oh.
I mean, I'll roll whatever you want. He's bad at other things, but because it's a packed weapon, he's good at using the Warhammer.
Yeah, I guess it's an attack roll. Okay. You will strike it. Roll damage. That's not.
Oh,
damage.
does it not auto
Click on the
roll
name.
damage?
Click on the name packed Warhammer. You can set it in your settings to auto roll damage, but in the meantime, you can just click the word packed Warhammer on the first roll or either roll. Click in the chat where
Yeah, I figured it out. It was weird.
13 damage. That will not break it.
Oh well, it was worth a shot.
But you slam
Also,
it.
no one could hear it because there's a lot of other things going on anyway. So oh well.
You bent the metal slightly.
Oh crap.
Ziklu, your turn. Actually, no. Before Ziklu, Akiri, your ready to action triggered because this guy is carrying a torch, and that's shedding some light down this hallway. And Mavra just moved into the light.
Oh, thank goodness.
So your spell finally goes off that you've been holding.
Alright, sorry, trying to find the thing. It's not great. Take 9.
Okay. Ziklu, your turn.
Okay, yeah, Ziklu is just pointing at that cell again and just saying to the Minotaur, please help quickly. Lots of bad fighting.
He's nodding.
Yeah, and Ziklu doesn't really have anything else he can do, so that's it.
Akiri, it's your turn.
Okay, one sec. Sorry, I gotta measure something real quick. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I'm throwing Bless on Typha, Mavra, and Bella because she's in front of me. So y'all done been blessed.
Yay.
Bella.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Mavra too.
She got down to 25, guys.
Take 11.
It's better than mine.
11 points of healing to Mavra. Okay. He seems to move with supernatural speed or just surprising speed and rushes up to the door here. Typha, you can kind of step aside to let him pass if you wish.
She definitely does so.
Okay. He kind of gives you a look like, I'll deal with you later. And these guys come up, and they seem headed for you, Typha. But He drops the torch and the axe. The torch burning on the ground. Pulls out a key and kind of takes in the situation. And he says, "Well, come on then." And he opens the gate.
Oh, great.
And he's like, "Come on," to Mavra. And he's like holding the gate, like ready to slam it shut again. Typha.
Ooh. She does not like these two over here coming after her. And I think she's thinking, okay, well, the Minotaur man has it now. So she is going to use a bonus action to, well, she's going to go here. Use a bonus action to turn back into her rat friend form.
Okay.
She can do this twice within one short rest.
That's ridiculous.
Moondruids are so broken.
They're so broken.
And then she go in here with them with her 10 feet of movement, or 20 feet, excuse me, in rat form.
The party's not locked in here with you.
No.
And now you have a tiny rat friend.
You're locked in here with Typha. Okay. So she runs in there and prepares to transform back. So they're all watching this, their jaws drop. Like, what? And that triggers yet another bell ringing. Okay. Breath. There's blood. A new beast has appeared. It's big and intimidating, and it looks like it's trying to steal your prey. There's a glowing crocodile. You don't know what that's about. Roll a D percentile for me.
26.
You don't like the situation. Instead of continuing the attack, he kind of shrinks back to the back of the cell and sniffs around with his man nose that's like slightly elongated and pushed out of his face, and does the cat hiss of anger. I have angry cats, and a growl, more like, actually. And it's a weird sound. But he kind of slinks back. Mavra.
I'm gonna get out of there.
Yeah.
You're doing the dodge action, by the way, Bref. Okay, you get out of there. So you jump out of the cell. At the same moment, he slams it shut. Essentially as a reaction. And very swiftly after that, is going to lock it and back the hell away from the angry Tiger Man that then throws himself at the gate. They pull some kind of levers just around the corner. You're not can't quite see what's going on, that stop the bells. And Rethom looks around and it's like, okay. He's got Mavra. He takes Mavra by the arm. And he will put you in the cell with Frasher.
So Frasher's standing at the door holding a big warhammer when he comes over. And then he just lets go of it and it disappears.
Triggering another bell, which they then shut off. And
is it really magic to get rid of it too?
I guess not. I guess not. Yeah. He puts Maver in the cell, kind of steps back, and looks around at all of you and says, "So when was anyone going to mention you had a lycanthrope?"
We sort of forgot with all the hubbub that it was a full moon today.
Oh,
A cursed beast man. The order demands such creatures be put down.
Now, okay, hold on. We're actually trying to get him uncursed. He afflicted with this when he was defending us from a group of weird tigers who attacked. And he's really, but you know, we have a potential solution that is forthcoming.
Bref is meanwhile stalking back and forth in the cell, just pacing, angry, hackles.
Kind of like I was earlier, but hairier.
The Rethom, without looking over at you, Bella, kind of picks up his axe, and then he looks over his shoulder at you, and he says, "It is a foul disease, and now your other friend may have it. I must fetch the silver weapons."
I really am going to have to.
He turns and walks away.
Well, fuck, now we gotta kill the Minotaur.
And while the other two take a look and kind of make sure that all the locks are locked, as if that would hold you, we are going to have to call tonight's session. The party imprisoned. Another day has passed.
Kind of in prison. Like, sorta.
barely.
Okay. Another day has passed, and we shall see how they deal with this. They will be bringing out manacles for all of you.
Tiny rat-sized manacles?
Manacles that they will be bringing are etched with runes.
Shit.
And feel cold to the touch.
Man, Ziku didn't do anything. All he did was help her was call the guards.
Sorry, dude, you're wrapped up with a package deal, I guess.
Yeah, in the general freak out that all the guards are having over this, that isn't particularly noted. But I noted it. There are definitely some 1 a.m. meetings happening in the Order of the Sacred Bull as they try and deal with this. Okay. Wow. What a session, you guys. Well played.
That was fun.
That was a fun healing puzzle.
Yeah, that was really cool.
We will deal with the headache that Bref wakes up with next time. And I will be advancing the calendar to the 25th of Mariko. Oh, man. That was some drama. Well played, all of y'all. That was some excellent role-playing and dramatic encounter. I'm glad you had fun. I had fun, too. I will say thank you to Jeremy, player of Breath. Bravo, dude. Dealing with the next curse on your character. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Danielle, player of Mavra. Well played. Barely surviving, honestly. It got pretty close there to a scary, scary situation. Well played, Kirsten, player of Bella. Thank you so much for all of the awesome RP. Well played, Corey, player of Ziklu. Thank you, dude. And yes, actually, I will say, they do not put the enchanted manacles on you. Well played, Matt, player of Frasher. That was hilarious. and well done, dude. Well played, Lindsay, player of Typha the Third. Awesome. All of you are great. Thank you to everyone who came by and watched the stream. Man with no screen name, Grimslag, Taladar was in here earlier, might still be here, and others. Thank you to Frequency who followed during the stream. Good night, everybody. That was awesome. Join us again next Saturday, because we are planning for more of the Wildlands campaign. And how will the party ever get out of this pickle? Oh boy. Oh boy. But well played, guys. Really well played. Go back to your piles of straw and rest your heads in the city of Westhead. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for GMing, Max. That was awesome.
That was fun.
My pleasure.